One of the most useful tools in geometry is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's used in construction. It's used in building buildings and bridges. Carpenters use it all the time, and we use it in finding measurement from one place to another for places that are very hard to measure, like the distance across a river. And we can use this to find either the hypotenuse if we know both legs, or we can find the leg if we know one leg and the hypotenuse. So the formula is used the same. The solving of the formula is different. So if we take leg squared plus leg squared is the hypotenuse squared. 100 plus 144 is c squared. 244 is c squared. And then you take the square root. And because we're dealing with the length, we're only going to consider the positive. So that would be about 15 6/10. This is set up the same. Leg squared plus leg squared is the hypotenuse squared. So 100 plus a squared is 225. You subtract 100 on both sides of the equation. And then you take the positive square root. So that's about 11 2/10. So the only two possibilities is knowing two legs, looking for the hypotenuse, so you square, add, take the square root, or you know a leg and the hypotenuse, so you're going to square, subtract, and then take the square root. The converse of the Pythagorean theorem is what we were using in the right or not activity, where we were trying to determine whether three lengths would make a right acute or an obtuse triangle. One thing we need to remember is that not all lengths will make a triangle. So if I give you dimensions like 1, 2, and 3, we want to know if these three dimensions will make a triangle. The rule is that if we add these numbers, the two smallest of the three together, and we subtract them, the third number has to fall between So this will not be a triangle of any kind because the dimensions do not match up. So we have to have a number between 1 and 2, or at least less than 3. We have to have a number between 1 and 3. Numbers that are used often in making right triangles are called Pythagorean triples. The 3, 4, 5 probably is the one that is used most often. 5, 12, and 13 is used often, and 7, 24, and 25. So those are 3 examples that are called Pythagorean triples. There are 3 dimensions that make right triangles. Formay's theorem tells us that when we are looking at n being greater than or equal to 3, where n is an exponent, that there are no numbers, no integers that will make this true if the exponent is 3 or greater. So when we are working with the converse of the Pythagorean theorem and the Pythagorean theorem, we found in our conclusion of right or not that if you take the smallest values, square them, and add them, it has to be, this sum has to be greater than the square of the third side for it to be acute. If it is less than the third side squared, it is obtuse. And if it is equal, it is right.